What's up, guys? Matt Moda here with GoldBoys, here to give you 5 bets in 5 minutes. That's right, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to give you my 5 favorite bets for tonight's betting slate. We're talking Monday, December 30th. Because it's Monday, that means we have football. I'm going to have 3 NFL and 2 NBA bets for you guys to lock in. Couple days off because of the holidays. Let's get right back into it. And starting with our first play, we're going with Juwan Jennings, 70-plus receiving yards for the 49ers. So this is honestly just a fade of recent results. You know, Jennings has only hit this in 1 of his last 5 games. You can explain away like 3 of those. 1, Brock Purdy missed. 2 bad weather games where passing was down overall. The only real game in which he actually went under was last game against the Dolphins, still had 51 yards. Prior to that, he had games where he had 100 yards, over 100. He had like 173, 88, 93, 91 receiving yards. And this is a great matchup against the Lions team that has allowed the most receiving yards and the most receptions to wide receivers in the entire NFL. So just a classic fade of recent results on this one. Play number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs, 100-plus rushing yards. Gibbs has been awesome. He's no longer having David and Montgomery. Last week was his first week without Montgomery this year. 23 carries, which is the most important number here. If he's getting 20 carries, he's going to get to 100 yards. About 109 yards last week as well. The 49ers have just been gashed by running backs recently. Since week 11, which is when this stretch really started, they've allowed the 5th most rushing yards per game. They've missed the most tackles per game and allow the 9th most yards before contact as well. And just going through their game logs, I mean, we see Achane, 120 yards, Kyren Williams, 108 yards, James Cook, 107 yards, Josh Jacobs, 106 yards. The highest over-under of all those running backs was 72.5. They all hit 100. So another really good play on Jahmyr Gibbs and his rushing prop. Next up, we're going Brock Purdy, 25-plus rushing yards. A little bit juicy in terms of odds on this one, but this is a system play against the Lions. The Lions play man coverage at the highest rate in the NFL. Man coverage generally lends itself well to quarterback rushing props because the defender is just running after the man and not always watching the quarterback. And the Lions don't have a spy. So you put those two things together, quarterback rushing props over are a play against the Lions. The Lions have allowed the 3rd most rushing yards per game to quarterbacks in the entire NFL, but every single quarterback that had a rushing prop of 20 or higher hit their over on their rushing yards, and only 2 that were in double digits missed was Mac Jones and CJ Stroud. Brock Purdy has actually run more than you would expect this year. He's averaging 22 rushing yards per game. He's hit 25 yards in 5 of his last 10 games. And he had missed it in 3 straight games before cashing it last week, and he had cashed it in 4 of 6 prior to that as well. So a quarterback that can run the ball will have success against the Lions based on the way they play defense. So give me Brock Purdy and his rushing prop. That's play number 3. Now we're going to head over to the NBA, and we're going to go with Christian Braun, 15-plus points. Pretty juicy odds on this one, but I think the books are going to get fired for the lines that they are providing on Christian Braun points. He's played 13 games without Aaron Gordon without Aaron Gordon, who's going to be out for this lineup, going to be out tonight. He's played 15 games without him in the lineup. He's averaging 16 points per game in those 13 games. He scored 15 points in 8 of 13 games, and we're getting this at like plus 200 odds. It's crazy the price that we're getting here, especially when you consider the matchup. The Jazz have the worst defensive net rating in the NBA, 2nd worst over the last 10 games, and Christian Braun scores the majority of his points running in transition. That's like the play type that generates the most points for him. The Jazz have the worst transition defense in the entire NBA. Literally number 1. They allow the most points in transition in the entire NBA. Christian Braun has played 12 games against teams that are bottom 10 in terms of transition defense. He scored 15 points in 7 of those 12 games, averaging 15.1 points per game as well. He's played the Jazz twice this year, scored 17 and 18 points in those 2 games. Just a tough game, tough line that the books are giving us. We'll gladly take advantage of it. 5th and final pick, give me Tyrese Maxey over 6.5 assists. This one checks a lot of boxes that I look for. We can fade recent results as he missed this last game. He had 6 assists and 16 potential assists. So he was right there, and those potentials are great. And prior to that, he had hit it in 2 straight games, and he's been really good. Like, he's averaging 8 assists in 6 games with Embiid this season. Embiid's going to play tonight, most likely. And this is a good matchup. The Blazers on the season have allowed the 6th most assists per game to point guards, but 2nd most over the last 30 days. So Maxey, after getting 16 potential assists last game, bad luck only getting to 6 actual assists, goes over 6.5 assists tonight. Rounding out our 5th and final pick of the video, and that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to check out goldboys.com. Check me out on Twitter at JediModai. Let's all win our bets tonight, and have a good one.